Hello everyone, welcome back to Ravi's biology classes. In this video, we are going to discuss about cardiac cycle. Until now, we have discussed about human heart anatomy, the process of double circulation shown by human heart, and in the last video, I have discussed with you about the conduction system of the heart. If you want to refer to those videos again, I will give you a link in this I button. You can refer to those videos and then we can continue our discussion about the cardiac cycle. Human heart is a pumping organ. It pumps blood to different parts of the body. In this manner, it takes only 0.8 seconds to complete its one circulation. This process of pumping of the blood in and out of the human heart is called as cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle comprises of 4 stages. So, we will discuss about each of the stages individually and we will jot down the important observations under the table. The first stage of the cardiac cycle is about mid-late ventricular diastole. Now, I hope everyone knows about diastole. It means the relaxation of the heart, where all the chambers of the heart are relaxed. And what we know that inferior and superior vena cavas, they bring the blood from different parts of the body into the heart. Which chamber of the heart? Into the right atrium. They bring carbon dioxide rich blood. So, they empty their contents into the right atrium. At the same time, pulmonary veins, they also bring the oxygen rich blood into the heart, and which chamber they fill in? They fill the left atrium of the heart chamber. So, in this way, when the blood is being filled into these chambers, the chambers are going to expand. So, gradually what we find that the right atrium and the left atrium both are filled with the blood, with their respective type of blood, and the filling of this blood into these chambers results in the expansion of the chambers. These chambers also become heavier, and this expansion of the chambers help them to let the blood accommodate into themselves. The increasing blood flow into the chambers put pressure on these valves. I hope everyone remembers these valves clearly. These are mitral valve and the tricuspid valve. So, the pressure which is built on these valves results in the opening of these valves, and they also let the blood flow into the respective ventricles of the heart chambers. So, the right atrium pushes the blood into the right ventricle, whereas the left atrium pushes the blood into the left ventricle. One thing is very important to understand over here is when these atria are filled with the blood, the pressure inside the atria also get increased. So, there is a considerable differences in the pressures which is exerted by the atria and the ventricles. So, now we can tabulate these observations under the various heads, as I will write down the atrial pressure versus the ventricular pressure. We will see how these pressures are different and which chamber will be putting more pressure upon this. As the blood is more inside the atria, so definitely the pressure will be more in the atrium, rather atria, as compared to the ventricles. So, atrial pressure is more than the ventricular pressure. Because of the high pressure exerted by the atria, by the filling of the blood, the valves have opened up. Valves, they are just under the pressure of the atrial blood. So, the next point of discussion and observation will be whether the valves be opened or closed. So, the AV valves are very clear to everyone, that is the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve. So, mitral valve and the tricuspid valve will be opened. just because of the pressure exerted by the blood present in the atria. Now, do they produce any sound? We will come to that in a short while. As the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve open up, one of the very important observation is the blood flows down into the ventricles. It takes place passively, and rather 70 to 80% of the blood moves down to the ventricles passively without any kind of contraction. So, let me show you over here with the help of a symbolic representation is there. This is in the right ventricle, and in the left ventricle we find that the chambers are filled with the blood, and while the rest of the blood or small amount of blood which is left in the atria is pushed down into the ventricles by the contraction. And what do we call the term for contraction? We call it systole. So, in mid-late ventricular diastole, ventricles also expand because of the filling of the blood. Atria passively lets the blood flow into the ventricles, and the final contraction lets the blood come down into the fill the ventricles completely. Next thing what we will discuss about in this observation table is about, thus as the blood flows into the ventricles, there is no sound produced because the valves are opened up because of the pressure exerted by the atria. Opening of valves does not produce any kind of sound. Let us see what happens in the pressures in the ventricles. Ventricles in diastole condition, they are understood to be having a 0 mm of HD because they are relaxing, the blood is not there and their chambers are expanded. Later on the blood flows into it. But in the arteries the pressure is different. In the pulmonary artery the pressure is 10 millimeter of mercury, whereas in the aorta the pressure is 80 mm of mercury, that is 80 millimeter of mercury. So, there is a huge difference between the pressure exerted between the aorta, pulmonary artery and the both ventricles. So, now we come to the next point of our observation, that whether the blood will flow out of the ventricles into the arteries or the ventricles will remain under the diastole condition. So, ventricular pressures versus arterial pressure. As the arteries were having the pressure more than the ventricles, so ventricular pressure will be definitely very less as compared to the arterial pressure. Thus, under this pressure, can we say that these semilunar valves which connect the ventricles to the arteries, how will they behave? So, let us come to the fourth point of discussion, that is semilunar valves, whether they are opened or closed. The semilunar valves, which are also called as pulmonic semilunar valve and the aortic semilunar valve, they remain closed. As we know that the blood will always flow from higher pressure to the lower pressure, so definitely the semilunar valves will not at all open. And the last point of discussion is, if we observe the ECG of the heart, which kind of wave will be produced over the ECG. So, wave on ECG will be a P wave. Isovolumetric contraction. Iso means equal. Volumetric contraction is said because ventricles are now filled with the blood which has been pumped into them through the atria. The right ventricle is filled with the carbon dioxide rich blood pumped by the right atrium, whereas the left ventricle is filled with the oxygen rich blood which is pumped by the left atrium. Also, we know that the ventricles are at 0 mm of mercuric pressure, which is very different, which is very less as compared to the pressure which is present inside the aorta and the pulmonary artery. Inside the right ventricle, the pressure moves now up rises from 0 to 5 mm of mercuric pressure, whereas in the ventricles it rises from 0 to 25 mm of mercuric pressure. The building of pressure which results in increasing of pressure inside the ventricles, but still the pressures are very less as compared to the 80 mm of Hg that is present in the aorta and 10 mm of Hg that is present inside the pulmonary artery. And at the same time, what we know that atria have pumped their blood into the ventricles, so now they have relaxed, they are under diastole and their pressure has come down to 0 mm of Hg. In both the right atrium and the left atrium are now under the pressure which is very less, that is 0 mm of Hg. So now what happens? The valves which were opened for pumping of the blood into the ventricles, they will close, and the closing of the valves is to prevent any amount of backflow of the blood into the atria, which is the foremost requirement, which is the foremost significance of these valves which separates this atria and the ventricles. Now we will again tabulate our observation as we have done earlier, and what we find, as the pressure has increased from 0 to 5 in the right ventricle and 0 to 25 mm in the left ventricle, the first point of our observation is the differences in the atrial pressure and the ventricular pressure. So, we can easily write the first point as the ventricular pressure will be now more than the atrial pressure, because atria have now relaxed into will relax after pumping the blood into the ventricles, and they are now at the pressures of almost 0 mm of mercury. Now, as the pressure inside the ventricles have started to increase, the valves cannot let the blood flow into the atria. So, the AV valves, mitral valve and the tricuspid valve close. So, the next point will be whether the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve, they will close, and while they get closed, they snap shut, and when they snap shut, they produce a sound, and that is called as lub, and that is the first sound produced by our heart while it contracts. So, it is the S, it is represented as S1. Next, what happens with the pressures inside the pulmonary artery, aorta and the ventricles? The ventricular pressure has increased a bit, but now still it is very less as compared to the arterial pressure. So, we can say that arterial pressure is still very high as compared to the ventricular pressure. So, as the pressure in the arteries and the ventricles is a large difference, the semilunar valves cannot open, and thus we can again say that pulmonic semilunar valve and the aortic semilunar valve, they remain closed. They cannot open because the pressure differences is still quite huge in between them, and in this manner on the ECG we observe QRS wave. Now, let us come to the third stage of cardiac cycle, and that is mid-late ventricular systole. Now, as the right ventricle and left ventricle are at the pressures of 0 mm of mercury, the right ventricle, the pressure has risen up to 5 mm of mercury, and which again rises up to 25 mm of mercuric pressure, whereas in the left ventricle, which rise up to 25 mm already in the isovolumetric contraction, now it rises to 120 mm of mercuric pressure. So, there is a huge change, huge rise in the pressures in both the ventricles, but at the same time the pressure in the aorta remains at 80 mm of mercury, and the pressure inside the pulmonary artery remains at 10 mm of mercury. So, there is a huge difference between the pressures of the arteries and the ventricles, whereas the atria are still at the relaxed condition, they are almost at 0 mm of mercuric pressure. Now, let us tabulate our observations as we have done earlier. So, we can easily write here in the first point that the ventricular pressure will be very huge as compared to the atrial pressure, and this increased ventricular pressure will definitely not allow the mitral valves and the tricuspid valves to open. They cannot dare open, but at the same time the aortic semilunar valve and the pulmonary semilunar valve, they will open up so as to let the blood flow into them, but that can only flow when the ventricles will contract. And ventricles are having so much high pressure now that they can easily contract and let the blood flow out of them into the vessels. And the second point of our discussion will be whether mitral valves and the tricuspid valves will be open. They will definitely be closed. They cannot open. And the ventricular pressure and the arterial pressure is quite different, quite a huge gap is there. So, we can say that ventricular pressure will be more than arterial pressure. It is quite evident by what we have seen in the diagram. This increased ventricular pressure will allow the ventricles to pump the blood forcefully, and the semilunar valves open up. So, we can say that aortic semilunar valve and the pulmonary semilunar valve will open up and the blood will gush out through these vessels to different parts of the body. The pulmonary artery will carry the blood to the lungs, whereas the aorta will carry the blood to different parts of the body, and the wave on the ECG will be QRS wave. But the QRS wave will also show some kind of differences. As we know, isovolumetric means the volumes will never change in this particular stage. The ventricles have already pumped the blood into the arteries. Atria are already not having any blood in them after they have pumped the blood into the ventricles. And what we have seen that the ventricles have increased their pressure from being 0 to 25 mm of mercuric pressure in right ventricle, and ventricular pressure will now come back to 0, but it will not completely come back to 0, but it will be on its way in coming back to 0. The pressure inside the right ventricle will be coming back to 0. In the similar manner, the pressure inside the left ventricle, which has moved up to 120 mm of Hg, it also now comes back to 0. But it again, as I have told you, it will not come back to 0 completely, but it is on its way to coming back to 0. Atria are always under the lowest pressure as compared to ventricles after the first stage. So, if we write down our observations in the tabular form as we have done till now, under the first point, that is the atrial pressure versus ventricular pressure, we can easily write that ventricular pressure will still be higher as compared to that of the atrial pressure, because ventricular pressure is coming back to 0, but atrial pressure is already at 0 mm of mercury. At the same time, the AV valves, that is mitral valve and the tricuspid valves, what will happen to them? Whether they will open? No, the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve will remain closed. The pressure inside the aorta comes back to its original status, that is 80 mm of mercury, and in the pulmonary artery it reduces to 10 mm of mercury. So, now we can say that the ventricular pressure versus arterial pressure, we can write the ventricular pressure will be less as compared to that of the arterial pressure. Arterial pressure will be more as compared to the ventricular pressure. As the blood has now flowed out of the ventricles into the arteries, that is pulmonary artery and the aorta, the semilunar valves will snap close as the pressure differences has built up, and this snap closing of the semilunar valves will produce the second heart sound, and that is dub. This is the second heart sound which is produced when the semilunar valve snap shut, and there is a huge differences in the pressures between the ventricles and the semilunar valves. That is why the sound will also be quite huge. Now, the wave which we will see on the ECG will be because of the expansion or relaxation of these heart chambers, and that is a T wave, and it is again a very smooth wave which is produced at the last of the ECG graph. And at the same time, the blood flow starts into the right atrium. The carbon dioxide blood from the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava starts from the different body parts into the right atrium, and the pulmonary veins will again start filling up the blood into the left atrium. So, both the atria are now filled with the blood coming from different blood vessels from the body parts. So guys, if you have liked the video, the explanation part of it, if you want to get more videos on the different topics from different chapters of biology from classes 9 to 12 or even lower classes, which will be comprising of several fun to do activities and hands-on activities, I would like you to share this channel and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot.